Hey everyone, it's Moses from Announce Property. This is where we help people become homeowners in the UK so we can help you get your first home and we can also help you purchase your investment property. And what we do is a concierge bespoke service. So it's all hands free. We first of all understand your requirements and then we help you with the entire buying process. Now, in the studio with me today, I've got my lovely guests. These are our clients who we helped to purchase their first home. And today we're going to talk about that journey. So what I would love to do is to really ask them some questions so they can share with you the entire buying process. So welcome my wonderful guests. We've got lovely Emmanuel and his beautiful wife, Odun. So good to have you guys in the studio today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, thank you for coming. So, Emmanuel, tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Emmanuel King?
Wow, that's a big Emmanuel King. Oh dear, where should I start from? Where should I start from? Emmanuel King. I'm 63 years old.
63 years old, wow.
Yes, I'm 63. I'm married to a beautiful queen. I call her Olori, Odun. And then we have a wonderful son, Joshua, and a granddaughter in China.
Lovely.
We were in China last year, October, to go and see them. And I'm involved in prison ministry. I've been working as a prison chaplain for the past 15 years now. And volunteer for Prison Outreach Network for about 19 years. So I've been involved in prison ministry for about 35 years.
You don't even look 30.
Oh, yeah. What are you trying to get for me? Thank you. So, and I'm Nigerian. My parents are from Nigeria, but I was born in Britain.
Lovely. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. And over to you. Odun, tell us about yourself.
Oh, my name is Odun King, married to Emmanuel King. Yeah, he said most of the things to be said about our family. And I'm from Nigerian as well, but dual citizenship. And yeah, that's it. I work as an admin officer.
Awesome. So fantastic. So at Announce Property, what we do is we help people to become homeowners. So people have this dream of getting on the property ladder, and sometimes it can seem a bit difficult, and there are loads of information out there. I'm sure you probably read something on Google, how to buy your first home, mistakes not to make. So many things out there, but doing it yourself sometimes can be quite daunting because you are thinking, how do I start? So you've mentioned, what you do. Now, question I have for you is, how long have you both been renting for?
Wow. We've been renting for years.
Yes, we've been renting since we got married, definitely. And I've been renting since I've been in Britain. So that'll be, I came to Britain 1984, so we've been renting for quite a long time.
Quite a long time.
So when I joined him, it was in a rented apartment.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And you loved him so much, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll stay with you in this rented apartment." And this rented apartment. That's nice. That's
It wasn't
awesome.
easy.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy because I have a lot of books.
We're gonna come to that. We are gonna come to that very soon. And the reason I asked you that question is, if you were to calculate how much you've spent renting since 1984, how much do you think that would be?
I don't want to think about it, Moses. I call it waste of money.
Waste of money.
That's right, because I could have been going into my own property, into my own house.
Yeah.
But lack of knowledge, lack of know-how. Yes, that is part of it. And I think if you are not brought up with own mindset of ownership, it's quite difficult if there's nobody to help you, to instruct you. Because growing up, my parents didn't own any property; they were renting. So I didn't have the concept of ownership. I can speak for myself. I don't have any concept of ownership. So it's not in my vocabulary. But that is totally different from my wife. She came from a home where they owned their own house. So when we got married, she was definitely on my case.
Yeah.
Which was very good.
Yes, yes. And you know, I mean, I'm married myself, and I can really relate. You know, when you get married, the woman wants a home. She's all about the home. You know, I was fortunate to hear for Her Excellency, the former, you know, President of Mauritius, speak at the Dorchester Hotel just yesterday, actually. And one of the things she said, which I thought, wow, it's quite powerful, is just the strength. She spoke about the strength of women. And yes, you can buy the house, but she will turn into a home. I mean, do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've just mentioned about how you were renting for such a long time, and you had that, you know, you had that feeling that, you know, it would be great to one day own. When did you guys start discussing owning your own property?
I think my wife can take that question.
Yeah, I think that would be like about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. And until like about 5 years ago when we were evicted. Would that be 5 years or like about 8 years ago? We were given a quick notice where we were living. So we moved from there and then moved to another property where we were before we now moved to our own property. So that was when I was now really on his case that we really, really need to do something about this. From this place, they've given us quick notice. We are here now, and I'm sensing that this landlord may do the same thing. Even though he comes into the house and said, oh, don't worry, you guys are okay. You are okay. I'm not doing anything about this house. I'm not even increasing the rent. But each time he said that, something in me will say, this is going to happen soon. So that was when we now set our mind on it, that this really, really needs to happen. We need to get our own place.
You know, that just took me back to, I think, about 2014, where you just said, I was renting for such a long time, and I remember I'd graduated. This is years before I started the business. I'd graduated, and I was getting ready to go to my graduation party, the graduation ceremony, and a letter came through. And yes, I experienced eviction. It's like, yeah, you gotta go. And it was so fun because the people, you know, who was also in the estate were also getting a lot of people were getting evicted. And that feeling, when you get that letter or you get that notice, it can throw your world apart. Like, it can actually throw your world apart. Absolutely. Because you're not thinking, I've got all these things in this property, I'm working. When do I now start having time to start putting things together? And, you know, I've got to now put things together. I've got to take time off work. Do you agree that it can be quite stressful?
Yeah,
extremely
yeah,
stressful.
Stressful.
Yeah.
Extremely stressful.
Yeah, we agree.
Combining it with your work or with other activities you are doing.
Extremely stressful.
And the timing, because nobody tells, they don't warn you. You just say you have only one month to live. And the panic of trying to find somewhere else is another thing. And at the back of your mind, will I find a rent that is suitable for my salary? And go into another area. You've already mastered this area in terms of transportation, your food, and sometimes church, and sometimes friendship with the people in the vicinity that you've developed friendship with, and you're just being yanked away suddenly. It's just Unbearable thought.
I know, but luckily for us, we found another place just like a couple of streets from where we were evicted. So, but it was still stressful as well, having to move a lot of things from one place to another. Yeah.
And
And can I say something?
Sure.
And I've just had a major operation.
Yeah.
Major operation.
you had to move.
And I have to.
In fact, he was in the hospital when we got the eviction letter. So I didn't even know how to tell him, So, but then I still had to.
Wow. 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 And I'm sure for those of you who are watching, whether now or later on, I'm sure you can also relate to the story of the Kings. Because when you get evicted from a property, in a way, you are getting evicted from your home. Because when you're renting the property, you're paying the rent, but sometimes you turn that property into your own space, your own home. And the fact that you were in the hospital and you were evicted, I can imagine the strength. You had to then have that strength and courage to say, how do I tell them this? Because now is in a situation where you don't want things to get worse.
I know.
You don't want things to get worse. And one thing I always think about is sometimes when you think about owning a property, owning your own home, your mind kind of just goes to the impossible. When you think about it, you just think, is this possible? And the reason why I'm saying is because I can relate. When I go evicted,
Stop. It's bringing back memories.
Yeah. It was really because we had to the landlord actually came to the house and was practically begging us because of the situation he himself was in, things happening in his family. So we now really saw the need to move, but we now told him to extend because he said he was giving us 1 month. He said even when he came in the house, he was the one helping Emmanuel to get up from the from the chair. So, but then we still had to move. So that was when we moved to where we were living before we now, got our own house. But we just thought, now this needs to be done. We have to do this now. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's and I also believe that people who are watching this can so relate, because while speaking to you, it's also taking me back. And this is the reason why I do this. Announce property is not just about just getting you a property. It's about your story. Because we all have a story.
Yeah.
And when I started working with you guys, and I mean, I'm gonna jump into that, but I'm thinking about it now, and you guys are sat here as homeowners. As homeowners.
It's amazing.
Okay. So, Emmanuel, I'm gonna go to you. How did you find out about Announce Property?
Also because we are both involved in prison ministry together, prison outreach network.
So before you jump,
you and Moses.
yes,
Say again?
You and Moses.
Yeah. Moses and I, we are both involved. And I think I remember you telling me that this is not just a business, but a call to help specific people that God will bring across your path. And I can't remember, but I think you must have said something regarding that. I don't know whether I mentioned it to you that I would like to, or you promised said you think you have it in your heart to make sure that we have somewhere. And yeah. So that's why it's very touchy for me today. So please bear with me.
Yeah.
We understand.
So for those of you watching, you can see it's emotional, and
I know.
it's emotional because it's joyful
Yes.
at the same time. When you think about when you think about the past and you see how you were here, and then you look at the journey of how you're not here, I never thought this would become possible, but it has become possible. And that's one thing that really touches my heart when I speak to people. And because we're in the same ministry, you're a Christian, I'm a Christian, and having that conversation with you, I just felt like, yeah, it is time. But sometimes when you say that, at the back of your mind, the question is how? How do I make this possible? And the reason why I'm saying this is because we helped you to purchase your property a week before your, what birthday?
61st.
61st.
61st birthday.
Yeah.
And we cut the cake together.
Definitely.
In the new house.
In the new
In
house.
the new house. On the 19th of February,
2022.
2022?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
2
It's-
years, almost
Yes.
over 2 years ago.
Correct. That's right.
Amazing.
That's right. And there's something I want you to share, because there are people who have come to me who, they'll say to me like, I want to buy a house. I don't know how. Can you and your team, can you and your company help me? But they don't think they can buy a house. Or sometimes they'll tell me, Moses, my situation is bad. And my response over and over to them is not as bad as the other person. If you think your situation is bad, we've actually worked with people and even who never dreamed that they will be able to have their own home. Because one thing we must understand is that you are looking at your security, your shelter. It's a place where you start all over again, or you continue building your lives. And for me, the reason why I'm so passionate about helping like so many people to become homeowners here in the UK is because for me, it's also a legacy, and because of my story. So for me, I lost my dad when I was 7 years old. And from what I know now, I can't really show much. I can't show anything to my kids to say, I inherited this from my father, and obviously my mom's still here. And that really became a drive for me that, if I'm going to help people, why don't I help people to, first of all, change their mind so that don't just see buying a home as a liability, because that's why sometimes people shy away from it. They think, it's expensive, there's maintenance costs, but it's called real estate for a reason. It's called real estate for a reason, because again, this is something you can even then pass on to your kids. You've got a son and his wife who lives in China. You guys have, they live in China, and you've got a grandson. So this can be a legacy. Granddaughter. This could be a legacy for them when you're no longer here. So, Emmanuel, your story is actually interesting that we helped you to buy your home in your 60s. And I remember, I was having this conversation with you, I remember when we got you the property and we were celebrating in the house. Because of our social media, I was getting phone calls. I didn't tell you guys back then, but I got phone calls. And you guys are just finding out today for the first time.
Yeah.
That I was getting phone calls from people asking me, how did you get this man a property? Last year he was 60 years old. He's 61. How did you manage to get him a property? But there was something that you said, and I'll never forget it. Before I started working with you guys, you told me that you were going to celebrate your 61st birthday in your new home. So talk us through the process. How did you guys find the process of us? Because obviously you guys used our consultation first. You went for the consultation, which is what we offer to people. So anyone that want to work with us, we always, they have consultation with us, a paid session, and then we go through the planning process of getting your home, and then we introduce you to our power team. What was that process like for you guys, starting that process? But before you actually answer that, I want to take you back, and I would love for you to just share how you even got to that stage. Just before you started the process with me, how you got to a point where you said to yourself, we are now ready to purchase our property.
I think we wrote down what we want on a yellow post-it. Is that right?
Yeah, we had a paper, we wrote stuff on, and we put it on the fridge.
Like a vision board.
Yeah.
And then we pray towards it, almost every morning.
Yeah.
Almost every morning we pray, we lay hands, we just pray towards what we want. So ask and believe it.
You will receive.
And you will receive. We pray regularly, this is what we want. And not only that, we pray that when we get a house, it will not just be our house, but it will also be a house to other people. Make it hospitable, hospitality, that people can come and visit us and people can stay over with us. So it will not just be Emmanuel and Odun's house, but it will be a house of hope.
Nice.
Yes.
And
Can
sure, please.
Something, because I think that was COVID time. Yes, so he was at home, so that really gave us time to now, laser focus on this. This is what we need to do, and then we just felt that God was moving us towards that area, and where the money was going to come from, we didn't know. We had a little savings, but I was telling my husband that this is going to be supernatural. I was telling him, this will be supernatural. This will be done by God. So that now boosted our faith, and we just started declaring all those stuff, and we declare it every day. And then all of a sudden, God showed up.
Out of the blue.
God showed up. I like that. So,
Out of the blue.
I want to let you share that, because I've worked with people over the years where the way the deposit money came, unbelievable. But your story, and I still remember the day I don't know if I rang you or I think you called me, because I remember I was parking my car about to get to the house. I said to my wife, she said, where are you? I said, I've just parked the car and I'll see you in a minute. But then I think she didn't see me for quite a while, and she started ringing me like, where's this guy?
Where's this guy?
And then you rang me and you shared this powerful, incredible testimony. Like, incredible way of how you got your deposit money. Would you mind sharing that with us?
Yes. Like I said, I work as a prison chaplain, and I didn't realize I think I do, and I try to work with it to ask for help from my land managers, and they couldn't help me because I was being underpaid, because I do work on social hours, and when you are working on social hours you get extra payment. And then I moved from one prison to another prison, which was and we were just having a casual chat, and my land manager was saying, "Oh, Emmanuel, you've been here for a long time. Your salary must definitely be wow." I said, "What are you talking about?" So I told her, I said, "This is what I get per month." And the guy just looked at me and said, "No, that cannot be right. That cannot be right." So you must get in touch with the HR. That cannot be right. I didn't follow it up. Then the COVID started. So I was working from home. And my pay slip came to my workplace. And he told me that he mistakenly opened it. He thought maybe it was his. And he said he discovered that I wasn't being paid the right amount. And he took it upon himself to write to the HR. He took it upon himself to write to the HR. And he phoned me and said, I hope you don't mind that I've done this on your behalf. I said, not at all.
Definitely not.
That was a 10 years back payment.
10 years back payment.
That's right.
So they underpaid you for 10 years.
That's right.
And within 3 months, everything was paid.
Within 3 months.
It was just like a dream.
And he boycotted every red tape.
So
that can only be God.
Absolutely, it was just God. It was God. It was God, and it was time. And God just used that man, as the channel through which he will bring the money. Because at times, even if they approved the money, it would have taken months. But the first month, I think it was like April. They paid that in April, and then May, and then June.
So basically, they had underpaid you for 10 years.
About 10 years.
Helping him save the money.
But you guys had a vision board that it was time for you to move.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have the deposit, but you had a vision board and you spoke to it every single day.
Yeah.
The power of spoken words.
Which we weren't doing before, But when it got to that stage,
yes,
and God moved upon us, I believe it was God, so we now started, just released our faith. Sorry, we are Christians, so we are speaking a lot of Christianese.
Yeah,
we released our faith,
yeah,
and then started the declaration, and this was like within 6 months that we started that, the money showed up, the money came.
I must say, I kept on telling my wife that we need to do our part. Let's start saving. But my wife always reminded me and said, this is going to be supernatural.
It's going to be supernatural.
It's not going to be in our own strength.
I didn't know how God was going to do it, but I just had it within me that it was going to be supernatural. This would be done by God so that He only would take the glory. We wouldn't say, "Oh, we saved, we did." Even though we had a little money, we were able to add to that to pay some other fees. But
the main bulk,
the bulk
of it, yeah.
Wow.
God.
And so now that you received this money, you now have your deposit money.
Yeah.
Your 10-year. I'm sure some people. I'm sure why people are watching it. When people watch this, they'll be like, 10 years back payment, and now you have this deposit, and you felt now is the time for us to now take the step even further, and then start the process. Emmanuel, this is a question for you. Was anything going through your mind when we started thinking, will I be able to get this? The fact that I'm 60, would it be possible for me to purchase this property? Was anything going through your mind?
You know what? Like we said, we didn't realize age is going to be a problem.
We never thought about it.
We never thought about age at all. We thought you can just go into the bank.
Once you have your deposit.
We thought you can just
apply for a
into the bank.
Once through.
And I must tell you, I went to Halifax to ask them. I went to Halifax, but I just got an idea, but I didn't follow it through because I banked with Halifax. want to check, whether I didn't follow it through. And I wasn't fully convinced about the guy that I spoke with, and I wasn't knowledgeable about the process. So I'm a novice, so I don't know much. But I must say, Moses, your company really helped us.
Absolutely.
Initially, when you said 1% consultancy fee, we said that's a lot of money. That was the first thought.
And disclaimer, that was back then, guys. So for any of you who are looking to come to us now, we don't charge that anymore.
Okay. But the process that you took us through, the timing, the time factor, the inconveniency to take time off work, the energy, you save us a lot of stress and you save us a lot of headache. And with you going ahead of us, speaking on our behalf, advocate, I use the word advocate. You advocated on our behalf. It saved us a lot of headaches. And I'm so joyful that I paid that money anyway.
Absolutely.
Oh, bless you guys.
Absolutely.
I was so joyful we paid that money.
Absolutely.
It's like you held our hands and you saved us from a lot of potholes.
Absolutely. And that was one of the prayers we prayed for as well, that God will grant us favor and God will send somebody our way who will hold our hands and walk us through this journey, because we are novices. We didn't know anything about, even though I will read up, once in a while, mortgage and other stuff. So we just said we needed somebody. And because you had already done it for one of our friends as well, so she was like, word of mouth. She was just telling her, don't worry, when you are ready, you just call Moses. Moses will help you. And then when we contacted you, we now realized you have like a one-stop shop, I will call it, everything we needed. We didn't have to come to you, then go look for a solicitor ourselves, go look for this ourselves, go look for a surveyor. Even when we had to do buyer's survey, introduce us to people. People are just calling us. In fact, I will forget, who is this person calling again? You say, I've sent somebody to call you, and it was just you made it so easy. And even the searching, you are the one doing most of the thing. It will be my phone is ringing. This is Moses again. Well, this is Moses again. This is Moses.
Yeah, I take it very personal when I'm helping clients, because yes, we have our team, we have our lead consultants, we have consultants who work in the company, but we have a very strong power team. Now it's taken us about 10 years to build our power team. And for your case, I remember when we were going through the mortgage process, at one point it looked like it wasn't going to happen. It just looked like, okay, it was, then the age thing kept coming up. Imagine, he's 60 years old. And I'm like, yes, he's going to celebrate his birthday in his property. And let's talk about how we got this property, because this is a very exciting how we got this property. We had viewed quite a few, and there were some properties that you guys went to see, and I was just like, nah, I couldn't see
us in there.
I couldn't see you guys in there, because what we do when we're helping clients, it's very bespoke. It's down to you and your personality. One thing we factored in was the fact that you need a space. With what you do, helping in ministry and helping people, like you are helping a lot of people, Emmanuel. You guys are helping a lot of people, and you got loads of books and things like that. So storage was quite important.
Absolutely.
And we also thought it would be nice to have like our own walk-in wardrobe. So she can have her own space. You're not sharing with her anymore. Because I asked a question one, I don't even remember when I said, you must have loads of stuff more than Emmanuel. And then it was the reverse. It's like, absolutely not.
70% of the things in the house are Emmanuel's, not mine.
And I was like, really? She was like, yeah.
It's difficult for when I tell people they don't believe me.
So we took that on board. So there were some houses you guys saw, and we were like, no, it doesn't work. We went through the mortgage process. We had, myself and my broker at one point had loads of meetings, and when some of the lenders were saying, his age was an issue, we said, no, we have the documents here, these are the things. But one thing that we did for you guys is that we prepared you ahead of time. And that's where our consulting comes into place. Because sometimes people contact us, they want to buy property, and we always tell them you have to go through the consultancy process, because preparation is so key. And if you guys notice, it's something that I take very, very serious, because you just went into the bank and you didn't follow through.
Like everybody else.
And most people do that when they want to buy property. If they bank with that, that bank is a natural thing to do. I used to work in a bank, and that was a natural thing people did. Hey, I bank with you guys. I'm thinking of buying a house. Okay, get this. And all of a sudden, when I was working in the bank, I saw that a lot of the applications were being declined. And that was when I started asking questions. Why is it not going through? They're not prepared. They just bring me these documents. They've not checked this. But we checked we prepared you guys for a few months.
Yeah.
And then when it was time to get your property, we make sure we got you guys pre-approved by a lender. And then we did the searches. We, what we do for our clients is, we do the searches. Our team, find properties for you guys, and we send it to you. But one thing that we also do that I actually enjoy is we always get our clients to name. We tell you to name your house. We always tell you, give it a name.
We named our Providence.
Yes.
We named it Providence.
And you called it Providence. Tell us, why did you call it Providence?
Oh, it's God's providence, God's provision. Everything, God provided everything, that we needed. So we just thought, what other name would be appropriate for this house?
Yeah.
It's just Providence. Yeah.
No.
So that's our folders.
Yes. Yes.
That's our folders.
Yes. I remember telling you guys.
Pay slips. Pay slips and bills. IDs. I still have
had
that.
Everything
order.
Ready.
Everything was in order.
Yeah.
And now coming to the house, we viewed the property that we now said, yes, this is the property for you guys.
Yeah.
Because what we also do as well for our clients, we also negotiate on your behalf. So you guys don't actually have any communication with the estate agents.
Yeah.
We do everything. Announce property, we cover everything on your behalf, because it's about holding your hands, working with you step by step, and just making sure everything goes smoothly.
Yeah.
We got a house. The seller, I remember it was a couple. They were moving. They found another property. We negotiated, because we always make sure we want to get you the right price. And then they said to us that it had fallen through. So we thought, okay, it's fallen through before. This is the right price we're gonna pay. This is the price that we put forward on behalf of you guys. And then they decided to go with someone else.
They refused the offer.
They went with someone else who gave them a higher offer. So we just said, okay, fine. We've the way we work, we don't put emotion into it. So that's why, because we're a forefront. So if you guys get emotional, we don't get emotional about it, because for us it's what's best for you. That property fell through. We carried on the search. But then I had this feeling, and I thought, okay, let's see what's going to happen. All of a sudden,
they put it back on the market.
With a different agent, a different estate agent. And I remember driving, because I was in the area. I drove down to the area, and I called you guys and I said, you know what, I'm in the area. I'm going to drive down. I'm going to knock on the door. Yeah, Moses get up to something sometimes, doesn't it? I said, I'm going to knock on the door, because I spoke to the sellers that day. And I said, this is what we do. This is what my company does. This is how we can also help you. Because if you come with us, this is the benefit of using someone like us, because these buyers have paid for a professional to work with them. That should give them credibility.
Definitely.
And I remember they had asked me some question the first time we viewed, and I think from last remember they did some research, which they normally do. They did some research about the company, And when I spoke to this agent, at first she was like, "How did you know? How did you know about the door number? How did you know the names of the seller?" We're like, "Yeah, we had offered them. We gave them a good offer, by the way." And then when you guys came to view that day, there was loads of people coming to view. There was this guy who came in his big BMW blue, I know what the color was, blue, parked outside, and
Very intimidating.
and the way he parked the car, he like parked it right in front of the house, like, I've arrived. This is mine. I've arrived. I'm the man here. But just speaking to the agent, really telling them this is the reason why we think this offer is reasonable, and this is the position of our client. And if you go ahead with us, we'll be done in about 2 months or so. Because with us, we know exactly what to do. We know when to do things and how to do things. And I think at first we started talking, and I remember she said to me, "Moses, there's a higher offer." I said, "That's fine." Because again, with us, there's no emotion. We want to get you the right house. But yes, that house, it was suitable. It had a storage. It had everything that you guys needed. That was home for you guys. And I remember after negotiating, we got it. Even though someone had made a higher offer than us. But the seller said to the agent, "This is what this company does." And because he was buying another property, he didn't want to be messed about. And I think he had fallen through, twice, actually, if you remember that. He had fallen through twice before. So this would have been the third time. And they were just like, "We don't want to go for that again." And then they decided to go with our offer. And they turned down the other person who offered way more than we did. And I remember where I was when I rang you. And I said, "Emmanuel,
they've accepted our offer."
Yes, sir. The offer has been accepted. That joy, just listening to you guys, the joy was incredible. And then we continued to manage the whole process. It was just hands-free, because obviously you guys have busy schedule. When you are working in the prison, you can't.
I can't take in phone.
You can't, because
it's not allowed. Yeah,
not allowed. You're working at home, but you're quite busy. But we still made sure, and that's what we do for people. We make sure we manage the entire process for you.
And that was very, very valuable support to us.
Absolutely.
And one thing that then came to mind just now was when after getting the whole thing, we made sure we overcame any obstacles that we faced. But there were things that we didn't even share with you guys, because that's not for you guys to know. We just get on with our team. And I remember picking up the keys to your home. And then we arranged to meet up. What was that? When I told you guys that, I even told you when to give notice
to our landlord.
To your landlord, so that everything works smoothly. And then I remember telling you, "I've got the keys." Let me start with you. What was that feeling like, knowing that you were now coming to get the keys to your home, knowing that you had a vision board saying one day you're going to get this? And Emmanuel had said he was going to celebrate his birthday in his own home, and his birthday was what? The following week. What was that feeling like for you?
Oh, we were just so happy. We were just so happy. You saw us when we entered.
That's what I'm asking you. So tell the viewers.
Oh, we're Christians, yeah. We entered and we knelt down.
Yeah.
And some praises to God, because we're just so happy that God, you said you were going to do this, and then you've brought it to pass. And this has just been you from the beginning to the end, And it was, it was just this feeling. Even for second week, every morning we wake up and dance. Serious, as in proper dancing.
Proper dancing, African dance, worship.
We put on music and dance.
And we dance. This is our home.
And then get ready for work.
Oh, bless you.
This is our home. We started dancing, really dancing. We put the music on the TV, YouTube.
Wow.
And we did. I think Alagbara.
Yeah, we had a playlist there.
Playlist.
We just do the playlist and we dance and we just worship God and thank God.
Just worship God and thank God.
You are the one who has made this possible, especially when people were now telling us, asking, "How did you get it?"
Okay.
Somebody, people ask us the question too. Your husband is 60. How did you? I said, "Oh, you need to ask God."
So let me step in.
That's
Let me
the favor of
step into
God.
that one as we round up. I got phone calls because when we got the house, it was on our social media. We did stories about it. It was our Instagram and stuff, and our WhatsApp page, and then I got phone calls. In fact, we do this for loads of clients. We're helping loads of clients all the time. But for your case, I got phone calls, and the question I was being asked was, how did you get a property for a guy who's over 60? What happened? And I think the phone calls went even further after I now posted a picture the following week of you and I cutting the cake in your house. Your 61st birthday. We were cutting the cake together. Then I got a phone call. And someone asked me, I need to understand, I know you run this company, Moses. I know you help a lot of people to become homeowners, and you also help people buy investment properties. But how did you get a 60-year-old man a property? Was it fraud? That was the question they asked me. Was it fraud?
It was favor.
There you go. Not
Favor.
fraud, favor. So tell us, yes, for those who are watching right now, for those who have now heard your story, what would you recommend to them for those who are thinking of buying a property? Is there anything you want to share for those they've watched this now, they're thinking, wow, great story, I can relate. What is one thing you would like to share with them?
Trust God first and work with a reliable organization like Announcement.
Oh, thank you.
Announced Property. It's as simple as that. Trust God and work with a reliable company like yours.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You have the knowledge, you have you support, you provide good customer service, and you save people a lot of stress and yeah, that's what I would say. You save us a lot of stress and headache, unbearable stress and headache.
I remember. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I remember when we went some places to view, we would just go in, looked up and down, go upstairs and come downstairs. You will be the one. You move the settees away. You move that and you move this. Like, what is Moses doing? And when we get outside, I said, I need to see. They might be hiding damp, and they are putting their sofa so that you don't see it. I need to. And you're asking questions that we wouldn't have, asked because we didn't have that knowledge. You ask questions. We now give us, an idea of what to look, what to ask for. So we sort of learned from you as well. So, but you really helped us.
You go into the garden, you look around. You go to the cellar, you look around. So
Wow.
That's an expertise.
Yeah. Guys, honestly, thank you so much. Thank you for your time, and just your story and I'm sure your story is an inspiration to those who are watching and those who are going to watch this. And again, thank you. And I'm so happy that we were able to play a role to help you become homeowners. What seemed impossible has now become
possible.
So guys, thank you. We hope you enjoyed this interview. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you like this, give us a like. It does help us. And please leave your comments. It is important that we hear from you, and we want to hear from you. So if you've enjoyed this, leave your comments. And if you are thinking of buying a property, you can, contact us. You can go on our website. You can check us out, even on Instagram @Announced Property. So until next time, remember, what is impossible can be possible.